Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we're going to look at the brand new Sydney Grace Eye and Face brush sets. You know I can't resist brushes, so I went crazy and I bought the entire Sydney Grace face set and eye set. I'm pointing at them because they're here. I'm keeping them, I'm not just kind of holding them up with a band, and there's a reason for that. I'm keeping them in order, and we'll talk about that. This review is a little bit delayed. It looks like the United States Post Office wanted my brushes. If we look at a map, Sydney Grace is in more Northern California. I'm in Southern California, and the Post Office sent my package to Washington State, which is 2 states up, and then it had to go down back through Oregon and then back to me. I don't know. They hijacked my brushes, but they are here now. I've been playing with them. I've washed them. They're beautiful. And today we're going to do a demo where I use as many of them as I possibly can. These are sold in an entire set. So the face set here, I'm cautiously keeping them in order, holding them up. I'll tell you why in a minute. The face set here is $50, and the eye set down here, I'll show you them all in a minute, is $55, but they're anywhere from like $6 to $15 if you buy them individually, and you could buy a set or individual, but I really wanted to look at them and review them, and the best way I thought was to just get the entire set. These are beautiful synthetic fiber made with wool, so they're really antibacterial and really nice, with this really beautiful walnut wooden handle, that you could just feel. A really quality handle and a quality woolen synthetic. Some people prefer synthetic. I love synthetic and natural. There's room for all of those brushes in my heart, and I love a good synthetic brush just as much as I love a good natural, so I thought we would definitely try these out today. Now there's one. Look, this doesn't really bother me, but I do have to mention it. Here's the way the brushes come when you unpack them, and as you see, there's a little white label, and that white label has the brush number on it, and the number has a description of what the recommended use is for a brush. When you unwrap them, that's why I'm kind of keeping them laying down so I can show you one at a time. We don't have a number on them when we unwrap them. And this for many could be seen as not a great thing. I don't really care, because I have to be honest with you, and I think a lot of makeup artists would agree with me, though I'm an editor, I'm not a makeup artist, but I tend to grab a brush with how it looks and how I'm feeling at the moment. So it doesn't really bother me if it's a crease brush and I use it blending brush, and it doesn't really bother me if it's a cheek brush and I use it instead as a highlight brush. That doesn't bother me. So the fact that the numbers aren't on there is not a problem for me. It only becomes a problem in the review, because for those of you who are buying individually, I want to make sure I hold up the correct brush when I discuss it. So I'm keeping them in order down here. All right, so let's look at what these individual brushes do in each set, and then we can try as many of them out as possible, which is what I'm looking forward to doing the most. Okay, with the face brushes, we have the Face Brush 1. This is the small powder brush. It is a beautiful brush. Face Brush 2, which is the medium powder brush. You can see that's got some blush on it from our demo already. The Face Brush 3, this is the blush brush, which you'll see in the demo. I end up kind of switching and using for highlight instead, because I like that angle for highlight. Do what you will, right? This is the number 4 foundation brush. This one I love for foundation and for bronzer, especially a cream bronzer. I think the texture and density of it is great. I almost like it more for bronzer than I do for foundation, but you'll see in the video demo, it's great for foundation. And then we have number 5, which is our powder brush, and I would love to see Sydney Grace make a dedicated highlight brush, maybe even a fan brush. I don't use a lot of fan brushes, but that would be fun. And maybe even a bronzer brush while I'm putting in my request to the lovely people at Sydney Grace. I doubt they're taking notes, but I'm just saying I would love to see it expanded. All right, let's talk about the eye collection, which I think, I'll just tell you now, is the highlight really. If you're torn, I'm just loving, this is a great eye collection. So let's talk about the brushes individually. Again, if you bought them in the whole set, they're $55. There's just a ton of these. There's 9 to the 5 in the face brushes. And we're going to start with our large blending brush, which I can use for a million things. I actually even use this in my crease, even though it's small. We have the medium blending brush, which is just as it sounds, a little bit. I don't know if I used this one actually in the demo. I kind of preferred the large. Then we have brush 3. For those of you following along who might be wanting to purchase individually, I will be using them and telling you which one I'm using in the demo. This is brush 3, which is the crease blending brush. This is beautiful for those of you who have smaller eyes and a kind of a tight crease to get into. Wait till you see me use that on the crease. It's really just ideal. Number 4 is the detail blending brush. This is great because of the density of it to blend out little details on the edges of whatever eye look you're doing. And of course, we are going to be using a Sydney Grace palette. Of course. We have number 5. Look at number 5. This is a contour shader brush. I'm actually going to use this not as it's labeled, but I'm going to use it for applying some shimmer to the lid. Again, that's just how I do. I tend to grab and use what looks good to me. All right, number 6 here is our large shader brush, which, oh my God, I love this even under the eyes. Absolutely a beautiful, beautiful brush. Flat, so you can apply liner, you can apply underneath the eye. Just a beautiful brush. Small shader brush, so that's kind of the little sister. Okay, so here is the large shader brush. That's brush 6. And the small shader brush, that's brush 7. If you guys need close-ups of these over on Instagram, would you just let me know? I'm going to try to just kind of keep them in order here so that I can tell. I might actually have to maybe do a little bit of a Sharpie. Again, I wouldn't for my own home collection. I wouldn't at all, but just to be able to give you guys the correct information. 2 more to go here. We have a beautiful number 8 flat brush, which I don't think I actually use in the demo, but in real life I will be using it a lot. And this eyebrow brush is brush number 9, which also you'll see in the demo is ideal for kind of getting a little bit of highlight right there into the nook of the eyebrow. Absolutely beautiful. I hope that wasn't too fast. Any little detail shots that you need over on Instagram, just let me know down below or over in comments. And that's the way I can also do comparisons to other brushes. I just didn't want this to be a 45-minute video comparing a million brushes. Those are great when those videos are out. But for me, I always kind of lose patience. So anything that you need particularly for you, just let me know. Let me go now to the demo. I'm going to show you how these work, especially these absolutely lovely eyeshadow brushes when used with a Sydney Grace eye palette. Dive right in and use as many of these new Sydney Grace brushes as we can for one look. I will let you know that I am starting out with some mascara and eyeliner on, just so we didn't have to interrupt the look to go put that on. Strange order, but you know, for our purposes here. And my beautiful dose of color lip mousses that I'm really enjoying, and all of that stuff. And this stuff will all be linked below for the description bar. You know, I have a lot of people ask me about the description bar. There's a little caret, you know, you can click on and it will list everything for you with shopping links and all that. I never usually say that, but I thought it was worth saying. Okay, let's start with some foundation. I don't have any on, and I have my Kjaer Weis. I'm really enjoying this beautiful tint. And then we're going to look at brush number 4, which is the new Sydney Grace foundation brush. So what I'm going to do is just take the Kjaer Weis product and put it onto the back of my hand here. I love the way this product smells. It has hazelnut in it. I've reviewed it, so I won't go into it, but I enjoy it. And let's just put it all over my face using the brand new foundation brush. Foundation brushes that are synthetic like this can be super, super nice. The BK Beauty brush comes to mind as well, the 101. I think this is actually putting it on and spreading it very nicely. They're nice because sometimes, you know, they don't suck all the product in there, and they can spread it out pretty nicely. And you know, Sonia G has some that are a combination, and that's nice too, a combination of natural and synthetic, but I think this is doing a spectacular job. Brush number 4 that I'm using here, if you're looking at purchasing these brushes individually. It's nice, it's not too big, not too small. I can even put a little bit of it on the eyes if I want, as a sort of eye primer. And I think it's spread on the foundation very, very nicely. Probably need a little bit of concealer, but for our look here and our purposes today, we're not going to stop for that. Okay, now how about a powder to set it all with? Here is the powder brush, and we have brought out our Westman Atelier setting powder for all this. So let's see what we think of this powder brush if I use it real lightly with the Westman Atelier product. This is the number 5 powder brush. If you are looking to purchase these brushes individually, I think that did an absolutely beautiful job as I check in my mirror here. Looks absolutely perfect. Nice, nice powder brush. We don't have a bronzing brush as such, but we have some small powder brushes and medium powder brushes. Let's look at blush. We brought out the Pat McGrath little, again, all this is linked below. And let's use the blush brush for that, which is number 3. The number 3 blush brush. To me, this might be one I would usually use as a highlighter brush, but let's go ahead and give this a swirl and use it as a blush brush. I told you guys, I am not incredible, I'm not great at listening to what I should use a brush specifically for. Let's see. And to me, this is definitely something I would use as a highlighter brush. So I'm going to go back to that, and I'm going to switch to the brush that's number 2, which is just the small powder brush. And to me, that's a nicer brush. Trust yourself. See what feels nice for you. And for me, this brush feels a little bit better as a blush brush. I'm overdoing it as I normally do with blush on camera so that you guys can see how it's applying and see what, I'm not even tapping it off, just so you could get the idea. So I have switched to the number 2 face brush from the number 3 blush brush. I'm going to bring the number 3 blush brush back. Has a little bit of blush on it still. That's fine. You can knock it off pretty easily so that we could use the new Pat McGrath highlighter. I like an angled brush like this for a highlighter. I just think it works really well. So I am cheating and going against the name of the brush. And honestly, guys, I don't think that it matters. Okay, let's do a bit of bronzing. And for my bronzing brush, I think I'm going to go back to the foundation brush. Just means I would have to wash it, but synthetic brushes wash really nicely. So this will have a little bit of foundation on it, and I'm okay with that. And we brought out our Fenty in the Pecan. Again, this is all going to be below. And I kind of like this as a little bit of a bronzer brush. And what I'm going to do is go around here and then blend, and I think that works really, really well. So I just want to go around the edges of my face and blend in. I actually love this even more for some of the cream bronzers that are so big this summer. I think this would be a beautiful brush. Again, I've gone back to the face brush number 4 for those of you who want to buy these individually. I hope that's helping you. They're not labeled when you get it out, but I'm already starting to memorize it, I'll tell you that. And for me, again, that label doesn't matter too much because I'm not really following it. I'm tending to look at what the brushes do and then grabbing from there. All right, so we have used all of these but the face brush number 1, which is the small powder brush, which would actually be great. In fact, let's find our Westman Atelier product. This would actually be great if you were setting powder under the eyes. So for those of you who love a good setting powder, that would work really, really well. So we're gonna go ahead with that small powder brush, and I'll just show you that I can set under the eyes beautifully like that. Okay, great brush. Love a bronzer brush, please, Sydney Grace, to add to the face brush collection. They probably go, I know, we're working on that. They probably are. Okay, but we may do absolutely beautifully. We may do quite well. Okay, of course, I really want to dive into the eye brushes. And I mean, you know, what are we going to do but use a Sydney Grace palette? And of course, I brought out the Tiny Marvels. I'm going to do a very quick, not intricate look with it, but that's okay. And I'm going to start with, over here with brush number 3, which is our Crease blending brush. We're going to use our very first shade Web right here. And I'm just going to use this brush. This is a great crease blending brush, but I'm actually going to start our look with it. I warned you guys that I don't tend to use brushes in the way they're meant to be used, but I want to let you know too. And in case those of you that are looking to buy these brushes individually, I wanted you to see how you can use them many different ways if you're not buying the set. And this is a great crease brush, but I just use it to do the whole eye. And I'm going to keep it in my hand, this brush for the crease, this brush number 3, as I do some crease blending with this shade right here, which is Death Moth. Right here. And I'm going to keep it on there, and let's see how we like it in oh, nice. Look at that. Oh, it really gets in the crease. And I have hooded eyes. And a small crease, and it really gets in there quite well. So I'm very, very pleased with that. And for those of you looking to purchase individually again, this was number 3, which is the crease blending brush in use. Really, really pretty. Now I want to get some underneath the eye, so I'm going to actually go in to the small shader brush, which is the number 7. Again, if you're buying individually, and I'm going to stay with that Death Moth shade and go underneath the eye. I just really like this. This reminds me of one of my favorite BK Beauty brushes. Oh, I can't remember the number now. I'll list it down below. It just gets under there just absolutely beautifully, and then I can even use it, look guys, to go kind of onto the sides and darken the eye, and that is the number 7 small shader brush. I won't be able to use all of these brushes today, but I'm just trying to give you an idea in case you're looking to buy individually. Now I'm going to actually go to number 1, which is the large blending brush, and we're just going to put a little color on it with this one, Bugaboo, right here in the bottom of the palette, and just kind of go a little bit more here and a little bit more into the crease, mostly just darkening the side and kind of blending. That's just what I'm looking to do for this quick look that I use brushes for. And then, though I would normally use my fingers for a shimmer shade, we are going to use a brush because I am trying to demonstrate the brushes, right? Okay, so I'm going to go with brush number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm counting over. Remember, they're not labeled. This is the shader contour, the contour shader brush, in case you are looking to buy individually. And we are going to go into our bottom shade here, which is Marvel. And I am going to apply it with the brush because these do apply lovely with a brush. And look at how nice that works. It's almost like these brushes are ideal for these beautiful Sydney Grace shadows. Trying to use them all. Okay, now let's go into our very last one. This is an eyebrow brush, so this is great for carving out eyebrows. What I'm going to do with it, surprisingly, is dip in here to Marvel and just go underneath the brow just a little bit because it's a brow brush, and I'm just kind of put it there, spread that out with my finger a little bit. Oh, I'm very, very, very pleased. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so now we have, I hope I've kept these in order to show you guys later. Okay, so now we have a finished look using as many of these new Sydney Grace brushes as I could fit in, just so you guys can see a little bit more about how they work. Now it's your turn. Tell me if you ordered any. Tell me your thoughts on synthetic brushes. We all love BK Beauty. Now we have these beautiful Sydney Grace brushes in the running. Happy to have them here as part of my high-end synthetic brush family. I don't care if a brush is natural or synthetic as long as it works well. And let me tell you, I was most impressed here with these eye brushes. I loved the face brushes. I think they need a few additions in there for some brushes I would like to see, but they're very nice. The eye brushes, I think these eye brushes worked so well with a Sydney Grace palette. Surprise, surprise, right? I just think they were absolutely beautiful. So my most impressive recommendation for these brushes are these eye brushes. Absolutely sensational, especially with these Sydney Grace shadows. Meanwhile, over the next week or 2, and 3, I will be trying these with other shadows as well, and I will, of course, report back. But so far, so good. So yay on Sydney Grace for another success. Let me know what you got and what your thoughts are on these. So far, these wash beautifully. I have washed them and they're doing really, really well. And I will wash them again and keep using them and report back. But We're a community here. It's not just about what I say. So let me know your thoughts in comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. Hey, if you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I am hurtling at breathtaking speed towards 10,000 subscribers, and I can't get there without your help. So do make sure you subscribe so that I can see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.